In this vlog series, I am transforming an old 3-story house into an eco home while living in my van conversion. So right now I'm just trying to work out kind of the levels I want. So what I'm going to do, I think, is have this floating cupboard, which will be sort of detached from this line. Yeah, and I think that's probably proportionally nice. It'll make this shelf kind of like snug, but also kind of useful when you're ready to see the wood inside it. I think that's going to work. Because I want it to look like it's basically like this sort of floating hidden shelf. I'm going to like basically place these sort of pieces behind the chamfer, and then when I put the kind of chamfer piece on, it will kind of be all a bit invisible how it's held up within the actual structure itself, and then underneath it will just be one line going all the way to the back, and these will be then attached, most of them with square ends, and I can screw them into this rail which I'm going to attach in here. So it's going to be this little cupboard which will have router and all that sort of stuff in it. I'll kind of keep it out of the way. Attach this one. This is going to be the internal of the cupboard, so it kind of doesn't matter too much if it's got the underside of the floorboard. But then if you look underneath, you've got the smooth, and then we've got this on top. So I've just added the outside plug socket, which is the last plug socket on this floor, so now I can just give these a test. Nothing blew up when I switched it on downstairs. So yeah, it's all good. I have to check the outside one I just put in. How many times have I break my camera? That's all the plugs done. So I can now remove the extension leads going up the stairs, which is pretty cool. Slowly by slowly taking the house out of build mode. Pretty nice. So for the shelf, I don't know if it's in focus or it's going to work well because the camera lens is definitely bugged. I also broke the tripod, which is also why that probably fell over that time. So it's just a matter of like my kit getting knackered. It's another few €100. I'm building the shelves and I want them to be like, I don't want any like brackets. I want it to be like purely smooth, just like the woods just sit in there. So I put these little thin rails on. I'd like to put them as like a tongue and groove, so you just slide the rails in. But the shelf's slightly wider, so you can't slide a wider thing in at the beginning, so it's a bit tricky. So I'm gonna have just like a piece of wood underneath, so it will just sit on it. So it's not the best, but it will do. But what I have to do is, because I want to have these shelves and it's got the underside of the flooring on, so I'm gonna basically sand these down. Maybe I'll plane it first, get a nice finish. It can be varnished then, and then I'll cut them all to size to go in the shelves. So it's a little bit fiddly, but the end result is gonna be really, really nice. So right now I'm just doing all the edging strips and skirting board. Done around the door. Looks pretty good. It really kind of ties it in together, makes it look kind of finished. So just going to race around, do all the skirting. Just basically using this mounted adhesive. It's pretty easy. Just glue it on. It kind of sticks quite well. Just give a liberal line of it, and it kind of just sticks on pretty easy. Kind of there's a little angle bit behind there, slide it in, done. So it's got like a little bit of a dip in the floor, so I'm just going to wedge something under there to make it work. So when you have the concrete tiles, before you grout them, especially with dark grout, you're meant to seal them. I didn't even realise they were concrete tiles, to be honest. But Day is doing some magic
And the magic is just lemon. I used to like whiten my nails when they are dirty with lemon, simple lemon. So look here, there's this grout, have some water here, and it really doesn't wash. And now just clean this, take the half of the lemon, squeeze it a little bit, bam! Look at that.
Wow, that's so cool. Save the floor.
It's gonna be easy.
Thanks, Dave.
I thought I'm gonna wash this for like half a day. Nope. Half an hour maximum, I guess.
Amazing. So in this cupboard area, I want to build like a couple of doors. I'm going to use the oak flooring. It's such nice wood. And basically this, there's 4 pieces of really dark oak which would look weird randomly in the floor, so I thought I saved them thinking I could use them for something. And I think I'm going to use these. So it's like a dark wood oak door, and then I'll make them out of that. So a couple of pieces, I should be able to just cut them down, cut out some little hinge positions. I think it looked pretty good. Just need to kind of take some really precise measurements, and I'll use the table saw, which is a game changer for all of this work, especially anything where I want to do it at a precise angle. Use 45 degrees table saw. You can do it with the chop saw. The table saw is pretty nice as well. As you can see, this wood just looks beautiful, especially with the lighter wood. It still needs to be varnished, so it'll darken a little bit. So now I need to just kind of find my center point, chop it down, put some hinges in, put them in, almost done. Then I just need some kind of knob and some kind of little catch to stop it on the back, maybe like a magnet catch. I've got a bunch of those left over from my van. So yeah, get that done. So the way I'm going to do this, because I'm no cabinet maker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one door first, do the whole thing, and then make the other door to exactly fit any mistakes I made this side. Don't think I've made any mistakes yet, but it will just be a good way to make sure I get it done right, and at least it looks good even if it's not perfect. So here we have it, we have cupboard, and that will contain like router and stuff like that. Still need to do a little bit more work, it's a little bit stiff on this one, and I kind of like a little bit at the end. I'm not that good at kind of really fine woodwork, and maybe don't have the patience required. But now there'll be some tidying up. I need to sand some of these edges down, need to varnish them, and a bunch of other stuff. But for now, this unit is kind of like sort of done. I'll do the tidy up probably tomorrow. This whole space is very much ready for the sofa to arrive and become properly housey. Done the edges, just some steps to glue down. Might do that now. Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of getting to the point where you can say, actually, maybe it's like almost finished. There's just like a few loose ends. Obviously the kitchen, but another story. But other than that, it's really cool to be in this position where kind of stuff is basically done. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting down oak floorboards and turning them to skirting board, which would go around the expansion gap, which is much larger. against the window because it butts up against the kitchen tiles. Quite dusty work. So end result is these pieces, and I've like sanded them down. I'll varnish them as well, but then they can kind of all go around. As you can see, it's a floating floor, so that means the floor isn't fixed down because it needs to have space to expand and contract with temperature and humidity changes. So I've got quite a big gap here because there's no gap by the kitchen, and this will just neatly cover that gap. And it's the same wood. It should look quite nice at the end and be quite strong and sturdy. We're at the point where it's so kind of on the finish and straight that we decided to clean the big window, and it looks just incredible outside. So today the aim is to finish the little skirting bits and just trying to get all the little bits of woodwork tidied up, because tomorrow furniture arrives. Sofa, tables, chairs, the rest of the lights. So basically tomorrow from then on, obviously with the sofa and things, it's very housey. Sounds the kitchen. It's unbelievable working with IKEA with the kitchen. Firstly, I've had to do 3 redesigns because the stuff I chose is going out of stock, but there's no indication that that's the case. Secondly, when you try and put an order in, they're like, oh, but this is out of stock, but this is, it's an unbelievably bad process. But that aside, furniture's just arriving today, tomorrow, and I can basically sort of call it a house. There's quite a few bits which is coming in the coming week. In 2 days there'll be wallpaper for the small bathroom, so we can finish the museum, and other lights will come in a week to kind of do lots of little bits and pieces. It's like just what slows down now is actually just the logistics of choosing and ordering everything to fill a house. When the kitchen arrives, I reckon it's like a 2-day, 3-day installation job, because it's basically just assemble things, put them in place, and then some tiling. I need to buy a wood counter, depending if they can send me the 3rd choice design for the kitchen fronts. It would be best to have a wood top, which is great because I can just buy it by the meter, cut it down myself, and make it all precise. So that's just a matter of finding someone who would supply wood top and then buying it. Other than that, yeah, we're really, really close. And I'm just trying to do all those little edging strips around the doors. There's a lot of just faffy stuff. Don't enjoy it, but it does make quite a big difference when you kind of fill in the gaps and the joins, and it all kind of sort of meshes together to look really good. IKEA furniture. So today what I'm going to do is wire up the downstairs.